Friends, hello and welcome on TechGuruSpeaks.com. Today's topic of discussion is JVM or Java Virtual Machine, Java features, and different editions or platforms of Java. Till now, we have seen how to write Java programs, how to compile and run them. We also learned how to create classes and objects in Java program. And we have also seen what are the members of a class like fields and methods. Now I will discuss about a very important topic of Java programming environment, that is JVM or Java Virtual Machine, which is basically an abstract computing model and provides the necessary requirements needed for running a Java program. So now I'll move to the topic Java Virtual Machine. As a Java programmer, we always want to learn the full details of how Java Virtual Machine or JVM works. So in this tutorial, I am going to explain the JVM architecture and what are the functions of each of the components present in the JVM architecture. Basically, the JVM has various subcomponents internally. These subcomponents are shown in the diagram below. Now you can see the diagram here labeled figure 1. So at the top of the figure we can have class files that we can get after compiling the Java programs. So I will be starting with the components at the top of the figure. So that is component number 1, which is basically the class loader subsystem. So this is component number 1. As I have told, there are many subcomponents in the JVM architecture. This class loader subsystem of JVM performs basically 3 tasks. First, it loads the .class files that has been created after compilation by using the JavaC compiler into memory. Then it verifies the bytecode instructions. Then it allots memory required for the program. So that is first subcomponent, that is called the class loader subsystem. The second component is called runtime data area. So it is representing the runtime data area. This is the memory resource used by JVM, and it is basically divided into 5 parts like method area from the left, heap, Java stacks, program counter registers or PC registers, and native method stacks. Now I would like to describe runtime data area. So since it is divided into 5 areas, I will be starting with the method area. Now method area basically stores class code and method code. So class code and method code is being contained by the method area. Heap. The objects are created on heap. Java stacks are the places where the Java methods are getting executed. Java stacks contains frames. On each frame, a separate method is executed. Next comes program counter registers or PC registers. The program counter registers store memory address of the instruction to be executed by the processor. And lastly, we have got native method stacks. Here we can have native methods, that is the method has been written in other programming language like C or C++. So here native methods are executed. So that is the idea of different components of the runtime data area. So that is second component. So after discussing the second subcomponent of JVM architecture, which is the runtime data area, I will move to the third subcomponent of JVM architecture, which is the native method interface. The native method interface is a program that connects the native method libraries with JVM for executing native methods. So it is basically acts as an intermediary between the native method library, which is written in C or C++, and the JVM itself. That is the idea of native method interface. Then I'll be moving to the fourth subcomponent, that is native method library. So basically, as I already told before, it is basically having the native libraries information that is written in other programming languages like C or C++. So the last or the fifth component of JVM is execution engine. The execution engine contains interpreter and just-in-time compiler, that is called the JIT compiler, which converts the bytecode into machine code. JVM uses optimization technique to decide which part of the code to be interpreted and which part of the code to be used with JIT compiler. That means it is employing an intelligent technique to decide which part of the code to be interpreted and which part of the code to be compiled by using the just-in-time compiler. The hotspot represents the block of code to be executed by the JIT compiler. Next, I will be making a comparative study which talks about the relationship between JDK, JRE, and JVM. We have already studied the JVM architecture and what are the different subcomponents present in JVM. And now we would like to make a comparison between JDK, JRE, and JVM. JDK is basically the Java development kit. We have already seen the use of Java C compiler or the Java interpreter, which are basically the part of the JDK. And JRE is basically the runtime environment provided by the Java programming language. So let's have a comparative study of the JDK, JRE, and JVM. This figure will illustrate the concept. What is the relationship between JDK, JRE, and JVM? Java Development Kit or JDK is the full featured software development kit for Java, which includes JRE. That means JDK includes JRE and the compilers and tools like Java Doc and Java Debugger, that means the Java debugger, to create and compile programs. On the other hand, Java runtime environment, that is JRE, provides Java virtual machine, class libraries, and other components to run standalone applications or web applications. Say, for example, it might be applets written in the Java programming language. It also includes browser plugins for applet execution. In essence, JDK is a superset of JRE and contains everything that is in JRE, plus tools such as compilers and debuggers necessary for developing standalone applications and web programs like applets. Usually, when we only care about running Java programs on our computer or in the web browser, we'll only install JRE. So just have a look at the figure for better understanding. So basically, in essence, JDK is having JRE plus the different tools like Java C, Java Doc, and Java debuggers. While JRE contains JVM, so in that sense, JDK is the superset of all because JDK contains JRE and JRE contains JVM. So that is the relationship between JDK, JRE, and JVM. So now move to the next topic, which is basically the different features of Java programming language. So as a programming language, Java has several interesting features. Now these features are listed below. First, Java is a platform independent programming language. We have already seen that after writing a Java program, it has to be compiled by using the Java C compiler, and it will create a .class file provided there is no syntax error. That .class file can be imported into any machine, and there the .class file has the ability to run there. So in that sense, the .class file is basically giving the platform independent features of Java. So it is not like C or C++, where it is a compiled programming language, and this bytecode can also be distributed over the web and interpreted by JVM on whichever platform it is being run. It is an object oriented programming language, so it is throughout following the object oriented philosophy, no coding outside of class definitions, including main. Like everything in Java has to be written inside the class definition. It has an extensive class library available in the core language packages, compiled and interpreted. That I have already told. Like after writing a program, it has to be compiled by using the Java C compiler, and it will generate a .class file. If the compilation is successful, then it will be run by using the Java interpreter. So it is having both stages, like compiled and interpreted both. Robust. Java is having exception handling built in, strong type checking. So these features make Java robust. Several dangerous features of C and C++ eliminated, like there are no memory pointers, no preprocessor, and array index limit checking. Next comes automatic memory management. Java is having the automatic garbage collection. That means memory management is efficiently handled by JVM. Java is secure since there is no memory pointers. Programs run inside the virtual machine sandbox. Array index limit checking is there. Code managed by bytecode verifier, class loader, and security manager that we have already seen while visiting the JVM architecture. Next comes dynamic binding. The linking of data and method, that means the fields and methods to where they are located, is done at runtime. New classes can be loaded while a program is running. Linking is done on the fly. Even if libraries are recompiled, there is no need to recompile code that uses library information in terms of classes in the programs. High performance. Interpretation of bytecodes slowed performance in early versions, but advanced virtual machines with adaptive and just-in-time compilation and other techniques now typically provide performance up to 50 to 100% compared to the speed of C++ programs. Threading, that is multi-threading. Basically, Java supports the concept of multi-threading. So it is actually using thread that is called lightweight process, which can easily be spun up to perform multiprocessing. This approach can take advantage of multiprocessors where available. It is great for multimedia displays. Lastly, we have built-in networking. Java was designed with networking in mind and comes with many classes to develop sophisticated internet communications. So that is an important feature of Java. So I will be moving to the next topic, that is the different platforms or editions of Java. Here we are having four editions of Java, like Java SE or Java Standard Edition, Java EE or the Java Enterprise Edition, Java ME, that means the Java Micro Edition, and lastly the relatively new component, that is Java FX. So I will start with Java SE, that means the Java Standard Edition. Java SE or Java Standard Edition is the basic programming platform for Java. It is having a wide set of libraries called packages needed to allow the use of file systems, networks, graphical interfaces, and so on from within those programs. Next comes the Java EE or Java Enterprise Edition. This is the enterprise platform which is mainly used to develop web-based or enterprise division or enterprise-based applications. Next comes Java ME, that means the Java Micro Edition. So this is the platform that is basically used to develop mobile-based applications. And lastly, we have Java FX, which is the platform used to develop rich internet applications. That is called RIA. I hope that you have understood the useful components of Java, that is JVM, the relationship between JDK, JRE, and JVM, the features of Java, and the different Java platforms and edition that is available nowadays. Thanks for watching this video, and I will always request you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That will give me boost up. So this is my YouTube channel URL. Please visit my website for useful information, and it is my email, official email ID. So have a nice day. Thank you friends for watching this video.